Okay, you guys, I want you to get clear on what you want. I want you to want it more than anything so that you know for sure you're gonna have it. And then the last week I'm like, all right, now you don't want it anymore. Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode number 14.
Woo! I'm Sadie.
I'm Juliet. Obviously. And we're here for another extremely fun, informative, exciting,
extraordinary,
extraordinary,
woo
woo week.
We are going to talk about manifestation today. We're going to talk about quantum leaping. Lots of fun stuff. But before we get to that, Juliet, what's new with you?
So much is new with me. Just endless. And it all has to do with animals.
Of course.
Per usual. This is something that happened at a Petco last week that I thought was the funniest thing I've ever said, and nobody around me laughed.
Okay,
so I'm going to tell you the story. So I go into Petco because I'm trying to manifest speaking of manifestation, I am manifesting a puppy. We don't have the house for a puppy at this moment. It's not in the cards at this moment, but I am getting in the energy of I have a dog.
Yes.
So I went to Petco to just walk around.
I love that. I'm going to go to the pet store because I have a dog.
Right.
Vibrationally.
I'm looking at the dog outfits, the collars. I'm like, yeah, this will be great for my dog, which I don't have yet, but I will. And while I was there, I was like, oh, I think I'll just look at like the little, rodenty animals, the guinea pigs, the hamsters, maybe I can get a starter pet. I realized at the end that I don't want a rodent, but
they're pretty fun.
So I'm looking at the mice, and they're being cute. They're running around in their little circles and just being all cute and squirmy. And this man and another man who works at the store come up to the mouse enclosure. Okay.
There's like a gigantic pasture full of mice.
Like at the zoo. Welcome to the mouse enclosure. So, and the guy goes, I want that one, the fastest, biggest one. And so the guy working opens up the cage and starts reaching in. And I said, oh, are you getting this as a pet or is this for your snake? Because I knew these are sadly the feeder mice. And so he's like, that one, indicating that it was for the snake. And I'm like, oh, what kind of snake do you have? And he's like, oh, I have a rattlesnake and a python, which sounded super illegal to me. Apparently it's completely legal to have a rattlesnake and a python. And I thought, I hope you don't live in my building because if those things got loose.
I have a story about a python.
Oh my God. That in 5. And so, I said, oh my God, I feel so bad because that mouse is running for his life. He knew, and the guy was trying for at least 3 minutes to lift him up by his little tail. And I said, oh, I just feel so bad. And the employee goes, no, it's all right. He's already killed a couple of the other mice. He's not a good guy. And then he grabs him by...
Oh, the mouse killed other mice?
He was a very mean mouse. And so he finally grabs the mouse and I'm crouched next to them. And I said, I guess crime doesn't pay at this Petco. And nobody laughed. And I thought it was maybe one of the funniest things I've said in the past 6 months. And they didn't even blink.
Oh my God.
And then they put the mouse in the box and that was the end of that mouse's journey.
Mr. Snake's dinner went.
Yeah, but I just thought
crime doesn't pay at this Petco.
Yeah. They didn't like that, but thank you.
That's really
for
funny,
liking
Juliet.
that.
That's the funniest pet joke I've ever heard.
Oh my God, thank you.
I have a story about a snake. Okay. One of my good friends I think one of them passed away sadly, but she had 2 pet snakes that she would feed. One of them liked frozen mice and one of them liked live mice. I don't know. Freaks me out. I think snakes are very beautiful and I actually see them in my meditations a lot. but I don't want a pet snake, and I would never be able to feed a living thing to like my snake.
That'd be hard.
I remember my friend that has the pet snakes, like she brought like 2 little mice or rats home for dinner, and then she ended up keeping them as pets for like a week because she couldn't get herself to do it because she loved the little mice.
Oh, that would be me.
I just end up with 80 mice and a starving snake. But okay, so there was this story that went around my town that somebody's like older sibling or something this happened to. I don't know if it was a python. Are pythons the snakes that squeeze their prey to death?
That's what I thought.
I think so. Okay, so I don't know. This could have been like small town exaggerated story gossip, but this is the story, and it's really scary, and this is why I will never have a pet snake. So the story goes that this girl had like a big python snake, and she loved that snake. She lived in a town a few towns over apparently, and she didn't keep it in its cage. She just kind of like let it hang out wherever.
Mistake number 1.
Yeah. So then she started getting worried because her snake wasn't eating for a long time, and snakes do go through phases of like certain ones, like they won't eat for like months, and then they'll, I don't know, eat whatever. And the snake would sleep in bed with her. Okay. So she thought, she took it to the vet because she was like, my snake's not eating, and I'm just concerned because the snake used to always sleep like curled up, and it started sleeping stretched out.
I'm very scared of where
and
this
the vet
going.
said, yeah, that snake's sizing you up to eat you.
Oh!
Now, I don't know if that's true, but it was starving itself and laying out like that so that it could like, because it was like, oh, that's a nice big dinner, like I gotta have space for it. I don't know if that's true.
Have to shake that off.
But that was the story that went around my town. That was like the hot gossip for like a year. Everyone was like, did you hear about the snake? So
oh my god,
that took a turn. Crime doesn't pay off, Mr. Python.
Crime doesn't pay at this Petco.
I messed it up.
Mr. Python.
Mr. Python.
In Wisconsin.
Yes. So, yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. I would never sleep with a snake next to me.
Especially one that suffocates its prey.
Yeah, no.
All it's got to do is wrap itself around your fragile little neck and squeeze. If you're sleeping, you know, if you're awake, you can kind of be like, no, don't do that.
Don't kill me. Oh.
Yeah. I do remember, did you have these days at school? This has nothing to do with anything woo-woo. We're just talking about snakes now. Did you? No, I want to talk about this. For sure. Did you have those days at school where like some people would come with like a bunch of exotic pets, and you'd get to like learn about them in real life, and like you would get a turn to like pet them and stuff?
I think so.
My favorite part was always when they brought a huge gigantic snake, and like 15 elementary school kids would each hold a little part of it. Oh. And I volunteered, but I didn't want the head, you know? That's the scary part, but I got stuck on the end one year. I volunteered every year to hold the snake. I loved it. But usually you're in the middle, you know?
Right.
You're
Nothing
safe.
bad can happen here.
You're safe there. And I remember I was holding the head, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, be cool. You're in front of everybody. But it was like wrapping around. Just kind of, you know, nothing happened, but it was really scary.
Oh my gosh, that was your Britney Spears moment.
Yes, it was. That's probably why I liked snakes. It was probably around that time. I was like, I'll hold the snake.
Yeah, I'm just like Britney. I can hold a snake.
So that was cool.
Oh my gosh, I think we could elaborate your snake story and make it an urban legend where it's like the girl who like went missing, and then somebody found a snake in the woods with like this large human in the maybe
they're like, is that a body bag? No, it's a snake with a human inside of it.
Is that a body bag with scales and a head?
I don't know.
I love that visual. Somebody draw that, please, and send that to us.
What is that? It's a girl and a snake.
So that's new with me. I went to Petco, getting in the energy of being a dog owner.
I love that. That's what you got to do.
went to Craig's comedy show live at the Magic Castle parking lot, Magic Asphalt.
Yeah.
So fun. They give you little clappers. If this is your first time watching, Craig is Sadie's boyfriend. He's a very popular comedian. And
world famous.
Very funny. And my boyfriend Victor and I went to see Craig perform, and he was the best. And we had so much fun. And he was just so hysterical. So everyone go see Craig live if you can.
Yep. He's very funny. He's really good. I've seen him perform all of his, bits hundreds of times now, and I still genuinely laugh every time I go to his shows. So
that's the sign. I had friends reach out to me saying like, "Oh my God, I love that comedian."
Yeah. When I started dating him, I had friends reaching out to me being like, "Oh my God, you're dating Craig Conant?" And I was like, "You know him?" It was cool. I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "Babe, you're like kind of famous."
It's like Johnny Depp. Like it's
Yes, it's just like that. So, almost as famous as Johnny Depp. Yeah, it's cool. He's pretty known. People know about him. It's fun. Yeah.
So that was a hoot. And then on Sunday we went to Laguna Beach, and I found this magic.
We got to insert the photo here.
Here's the photo.
I can't wait to go with you. I can't wait for you to take me.
Yes, we must go. So the way that you get here is you go to 1,000 Steps Beach. You walk down the 216 steps. We counted. You head towards the sea cave. This all has to be done at low tide, otherwise you will get swept away. You go through the sea cave, you climb over the rocks, keep going, and then you're gonna see these two amazing pools. And I had seen these in pictures like many years ago, and I thought, oh, one day I'll go. And the day that we went, it was freezing cold. The water was freezing cold, and I did not bring a swimsuit because I just wasn't expecting to swim. But when I saw that pool, I remembered a memory from when I was 18 years old and when I was in Alaska, and there were these two boys jumping into the freezing cold water and then like off a big dock, and everybody was just watching them like, woo! It was just fun to watch them jump. And I remember there was a part of me, like, I only had my dress on and I didn't come prepared to swim, and it was a little chilly, but there was a part of me that like wished that I would have jumped in so bad. And then I wrote a song about it called Alaska. But anyways, I saw this pool on Sunday, and I thought, there's no way I'm repeating that again. Like, I don't care that I don't have a swimsuit. I don't care that I don't have a towel. I don't care that it's cold. Like, this feels like a once in a lifetime amazing place. Like, I'm getting in the freezing cold water. And I did it, and it was so cold, but so magical.
Also, when you go, it's like, because Craig and I, on like a day that'll warm up a little, we'll go, we call it our free cryotherapy. We'll go jump in the ocean quick. It just resets your body. It just, that cold, it's just like, whew, you feel like a new human being.
I didn't even think about it as being free cryotherapy. I was able to go up to like right about, I don't know what this part of my low,
like your sternum?
Mid sternumy area. And then we really wanted to get a picture of me like floating with my head in the water, and I said, I can't go in anymore.
I'm impressed. I feel like the belly button and like the nips are the hardest to get underwater.
I was able to get just right above that, but the thought like to even just go I was like, I was like, I'm a free spirit up to here.
I've had enough. I have my limits.
So yeah, we will go back. It was so beautiful. And then at around 12 o'clock, the lifeguard comes and says, get out of here because the tide's going to rise.
That's cool that they...
I mean, I think it might be private property. But everybody was just there and being respectful and enjoying little pools. They were built in 1929 on somebody's estate, and they wanted to fill them up as like chlorinated pools, but they didn't account that like the ocean water would come up that high. So they just, I think, abandoned the project and left the pools there.
That's cool.
So yeah, I had my little baptism in the cold water, free cryotherapy, and there's some other like synchronistic things that I'm not gonna get crazy into right now. You know what they are, but with
I know.
But you just never know. Like, the moral of the story that I'm not going to tell is just imagine that it's a fabulous one. You never know like why something happens the way it does, or why you're put in a specific location, or why.
Remember how frustrated you were not finding the right place for you? I think we can say it has to do with like
where I live,
you are.
like literally where I live.
And remember how frustrated you were and about this place and this place and this place. None of these places are working out. We can't find the right place.
It was the most uphill
place.
battle, and I can't get into why it's the perfect place. But I can tell you that it is. So, keep dreaming, my friend.
Keep dreaming. I think.
Keep smiling.
I've been working on like, I've used this affirmation in the past, but since I'm in my like money mindset stuff right now, and I'm saying this can apply, you know, outside of this, but I've been working on the affirmation, like money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways. And with this story, it's just reminding me of like, I am open to miracles. I am open to unexpected, you know, fun surprises. I am open to my, you know, dreams and wishes and whatever manifesting in unexpected ways. Like,
I love that.
Don't get caught up in like things have to go a certain way according to plan. Just have the end game in mind and know like that for sure, like know what you want for sure, and then just like let the universe do its thing.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, I basically just had a moment 2 nights ago where I sent Sadie voice memos. I was like, buckle your seatbelt. You will not believe this. Ah!
It's really cool. For both of us.
For both of us.
A manifestation.
A joint manifestation. So
very cool.
Everyone's like, I don't know what they're talking about.
Move on. You're keeping the secrets.
The secrets.
Secrets.
Anything else new with you?
Yes, I actually thought of one that I didn't tell you. I always tell Juliet too much before we record. I'm like, save it for the podcast. This one I didn't tell you. So this was really, really fun. And this is a good example of how we both did this weekend. We both got into the vibration of something already being ours by going somewhere. So Craig and I always daydream about two different homes. We have a plan, like, oh, our next place is going to be buying this condo, which is like across the street on the corner, that building that's like oceanfront. And we're like, we want that condo. We want one with the big window facing the ocean. That's where we're going to move next.
Amazing.
And then we're moving into the first house on the bluffs out there when we walk that way.
Great.
That's our plan, or that or something better is what we're manifesting. So 2 really fun things happened. One, those condos were having an open house. So we got to go, and we were just like, oh yeah, you know, we live in the neighborhood. Oh my God, you're gonna die actually.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Okay, so we're like, oh, we live in the neighborhood. We're not ready to buy quite yet, but we really love this location. We love this building. You know, do you mind if we take a look? And he was like, oh yeah, of course, come on in. Where do you live? And oh, I live around the corner. Blah blah blah. So we see the condo. It's stunning. It's just this. And it's bigger than our place, but still only a 2-bedroom. So I was like, I kind of want a 3-bedroom, but whatever. But the bedroom is open to the big window facing the ocean. And this is like, we are across the street from the ocean, but there's like a roundabout in between us. So we have an ocean view, but it's like a little more distant. This is like up directly, like in front of the ocean. So this view is even more insane than what we have. I mean, it's literally across the street from where we live, but these huge ceiling to floor windows that open all the way. So that's what you would wake up to. I could have my desk up against that, and I have all these dreams, my altar and everything. And then, big living room, all open, beautiful, updated kitchen, all this stuff. We're talking to the guy as though like we can, he's letting us know the prices of the homeowners association and how, the pool and how all this stuff works, as though like we're serious buyers, and we're having the conversation, and we're not ready to buy a condo by any means. But it was so fun because we were like talking about it, like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds good. We'll keep that in mind, all this stuff. It was so fun. The guy was amazing that owns the building. All good vibes, good energy there. And then guess who owns the building? The golden retriever guy.
Really?
Yeah. So around the corner from where we live is this house that they have 2 old golden retrievers this couple, and we always see them walking, and we walk past the house all the time, and they have these flags out front with golden retrievers on them that are like the different holidays and stuff. They're like the cutest ever. Yeah, there was like a Valentine's Day one when they're 2 retrievers dressed in like Valentine's Day clothes and all this stuff. So they're just like our favorite house on the block, and we always see them walking with the dogs, and we wave and whatever. And then, but we never really gotten close and met them, so we didn't realize that.
They own that building?
Yeah, and the condo he's selling, or maybe he doesn't own the building, but he owns the condo.
Okay.
And so he was showing it, and his son, like, so he lived there with his wife for a while, and then his son got married, so he moved to the house right next door and gave his son and his wife the condo.
Oh, wow.
And the wife was an interior designer, so she like updated it and made it really beautiful and all this stuff. But like, just know, like, having that guy, we just love their house and like love seeing their dogs, and
we say hi every time we walk by.
We always say hello. Yeah. And then we were like, oh my god, that's you, like, we love you guys. Say hi to your dogs for us.
Oh my god.
So it was just so fun. We left with like little jump in our step. We're like, we can't wait to live there. All that stuff.
It's so fun, like giving yourself permission, because okay, here's a saying that I hate, like don't get too excited, or you know, keep your expectations low, or whatever the saying is. Yeah,
like don't keep your expectations too high. I don't know. Yeah,
there's a saying about like keep your expectations low and your hopes high, or something like that. But I'm like, why don't you just get excited? Why don't you just get in the energy of like, I'm going to have this. I'm open to finding a way. I'm willing to hear any divine information that helps me get one step closer to that thing, as opposed to like, well, I'm not even going to walk through the open house because I'll never have it anyway.
I don't know what I'm missing. I can't, whatever.
Yeah, I'm always like, I get excited over everything, even things that end up not happening. Like every song I've ever written, I'm like, this is a hit, and I get so excited. Yes. And, you know, once in a blue moon it is. But I just don't see, like, in anybody's life why at the end of your life you'd look back and be like, you know, I just wish I got less excited. Like,
and it was cool too, because it did start a conversation of like, okay, like let's actually examine like what that condo costs and what that would mean and stuff. And we're like, oh, we're not that far off from that being a reality. Like it sounds a little crazy to be like, oh, I'm going to buy an oceanfront condo. And then when you learn the details, you're like, oh, I can do that.
Right. Then you can like map a plan.
Yeah. It's just like, it was so fun. And then our dream house, which is a $15 million mansion, is also up for sale. So we did not go and see it, although I kind of want to try, but we got to see, 30 photos of the whole property.
Oh, cool.
Because Craig's sister actually came across it and sent it to us. She was like, isn't this the house you guys want to get? You're like, yeah. So then we did the same thing. We were like swiping through the photos, and we were like, oh my god, this is where I would put, like, this is where I would do this would be my office, this is where I would, you know, do my work, and oh my gosh, this just talking like, yeah, that's gonna be ours someday, you know. Just like, it wasn't a question. We're just like, I can't wait until we have our friends over on this outdoor space and blah blah blah. Like, that, it was just really fun. I'm obsessed with my house shopping thing. We do that all the time. We drive through neighborhoods and
that makes sense why. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have a one-on-one client I'm working with, and we're like working on like building his intuition and his like psychic skills. And one of the Sadie gave permission for him to read a photo of Sadie, and
he did a great job.
He did a fabulous job. And he's like, I just keep hearing house. Like, is she looking to buy a house?
Oh yeah, yes. But yes.
Okay.
That's the vibration. That's the vibration I was in all week, and was like, pretend house shopping.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell him that. Yeah. That clicks. I was like, she lives in a house. I didn't.
She does have a home. Thank you. Yeah. That's what I was doing all weekend. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, I have to show you that house. I'll send you the listing. You're gonna die. And then what was the other thing? Oh, I did a love spell that was very successful.
What was in the love spell? What inspired you? What did you want to have happen? Tell us the tea.
Okay, so with love spells, I do not condone, nor does anyone really condone, like doing a love spell on a specific person to like make them fall in love with you. That's like meddling in destiny or whatever.
That's a witchy no-no.
So I always practice, when I say a love spell, it's always a like self-love spell.
Okay.
So you can do a spell to like call in, like say like, oh, I want to call in my soulmate. You might have an idea of who you think that is, but don't direct it at that person. Just say like my soulmate. This was more of like, I just want to attract more like not just romantic love, but just like generally like love, like more of my like dream clients I want to attract, my, you know, just always adding like more harmony into my relationship, all of this stuff. So I just did a spell in which the intention was the more I love myself, the more love I attract. And I meditated in that vibration and used some roses and some other stuff and a candle and meditated with my candle.
Oh, I love that. Say that one again. The more I love myself,
the more love I attract.
Oh, I love that. You guys write that down.
The more I love myself, the more love I attract. And so it's just funny because sometimes you do spells and you kind of forget about it. And I don't know, I don't always like follow up with whether they've manifested or not. I kind of just release it and let it go, and it happens when it happens. But this love spell was like so quick and like clear how it was working. So that night after I did the spell, my cats were like way cuddlier than normal. Boo does cuddle with me, but I have to like pick her up and put her on my lap, whereas she was like crawling into my lap on her own. Ooh. And then Mr. Cat sits near me, but he was sitting like against my legs, which
that's unusual.
Is unusual. And both of them together, usually it's like one at a time. So I had both my cats like on my lap, and I was like, what the hell is going on tonight? And I was like, oh, my love spell. And then that night, Craig was gone at shows. I love Friday nights. Is my watch Buffy and do spells night, because Craig is always gone at shows Fridays and Saturdays. And so that night, Craig came home with a big bouquet of flowers. He never does that.
Oh.
He like stopped at one of those in LA. I don't know if, I don't think most cities are like this. I've lived in small towns previously, but in LA, there's always guys like on the freeway exits, like selling flowers. And he like decided to stop and get some for me. Oh. And he's not like if you ask him, he's like, no, I don't know how to be romantic. Like, I'm not a romantic. I was like, why did you pick these up? He's like, I don't know, I just wanted to.
It was the love spell.
And then the next day he surprised me and he came home with like my favorite junk food snacks. Like he brought me remember those ice cream bars? He brought me like a Twix bar, and my favorite Chex Mix and stuff. I was like, what the hell is going on? Love spell. And it's just funny because that might not be how a love spell would manifest for someone else, but for me, like that very much speaks to like my love languages. And like I'm obsessed with my cats. I smother them. That's the kind of mother I am. And they came to me. And then like my boyfriend brings me like snacks and flowers, and like that's like that. It was perfect. It was so cool. So
cats, snacks, and roses.
Yep. So that was very fun. And then I was like, babe, do you know all the different flowers in here? I need to figure out what they are from in my spells after I dry them. And the little pink flowers it was a mixed bouquet, and I figured out what they were. They're called wax flowers, and they're for wealth and abundance, which is also cool because that's what I'm working on. So how did you do, like, if somebody wants to learn a love spell, like what did you sat down? That's what I can picture. You sit down. I sit down.
And then?
So I usually do candle spells. You can also do like a spell jar. I'm creating an everyday magic module I created it. It's already done for my money mindset magic class, but I'm going to be selling it as a separate class too, it's basically like a intro to magic class that is going to be available for purchase.
You can like learn how to do all this.
But I'll give you a taste, because you can do like spell jars, you can do candle spells, you can do magic just by like wearing certain colors or placing, like how we've talked about in a past episode with like feng shui, placing things in certain spots. Like magic isn't everything. It's just manipulating energy with intention. That's it. So for a candle spell, I always make sure it's like a new candle. So usually I'll use like a tea light, or if you want it to be like a more, if it's like a bigger thing, then I go for like a bigger candle, like those 7-day candles. And you want to cleanse your candle. It needs to be brand new. So cleanse it with like sage or Palo Santo or incense, or what are the other ways? Salt, whatever you like.
Okay.
Cleanse your tools. I usually like write down my intentions. This time I did not. I simply just chose some herbs, and you can just like look up like magic herbs for love, magic herbs for abundance, magic herbs for protection. Just like Google it. I have crushed rose petals that I used. I used some lavender and this anointing oil that I have that's like a mix for like feminine energy. Mm-hmm. So I anointed the candle with oil. I sprinkled on some of the flowers and herbs that I have, and then I just lit the candle and meditated with that intention of the more I love myself, the more love I attract. And that was pretty much it.
And what an immediate...
And it was immediate.
Wow.
The candle didn't even have to burn out all the way, and it was immediate. Yeah, it was really cool.
That's fabulous.
The most important part is honestly just the focusing on intention. Mm-hmm. The rest of it is, like, it's symbolic. The ingredients you choose like vibrate on a frequency that will bring in what you're trying to attract, but you don't need any of these ingredients. And this will lead us into manifestation.
Yes.
It's just about getting in the vibration of what you want. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's kind of it. That's a spell. I have one other funny anecdote before we dive in.
Please.
I told Juliet this already, but it's the pandemic. I'm working from home. I don't wear jeans except for on this sometimes. I never wear my bra anymore. I haven't worn a bra in a year. And we were doing a family thing with Craig's little niece's drive-by birthday party, and I put on a white shirt, and I was like, it's a family thing. I better put on a bra. You're welcome, Craig's family. And so I put my jeans on. I'm like, man, these are kind of snug. Dang it. Guess my butt got bigger. No problem. And then I put my bra on, and my bra is huge. My boobs got so small, and I had no idea. What the hell? Sorry, Greg. I just screamed about my boobs.
Changes.
I was like, I didn't even know. I got these itty bitty titties now. So that's what's new with me. My boobs are tiny. My butt's getting bigger. I guess that's what's in nowadays anyways, but we're just ahead of the curve. I'm transforming ahead of our time into a new version of me. It was just, I just couldn't believe, like, it wasn't a little bit too big. I was like, how big did my boobs used to be, and how did I not notice they were different now?
Oh, I remember them being like pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were still just as big.
I've not like paid attention to notice that they've changed.
I never wear bras, so I just thought they looked smaller because they weren't getting, like pushed up. Nope. So I don't know. That's what's going on with me.
Yeah, I've had my the pandemic's gone on for I think it's the 1 year. Exactly. Happy birthday, pandemic. So sad.
Remember when we thought it was going to be 2
weeks? That was incorrect. So, I remember the first couple months I was like, I'm going to get into amazing shape. And then when this is all over in a month and a half, I'm going to go back into the world in amazing shape. And I just have gone through this progression like over the past year of like getting into really good shape and then stopping and then getting into really bad shape for 3 months and then getting into really good shape and then stopping.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
So I'm trying to get back into like started living with Victor's helpful because he has all the weights and the workout equipment and stuff. And it's always easier for me to work out if somebody is seeing me in their peripheral. Like there's like some form of accountability there.
Yeah.
But it is absolutely my least favorite thing to do. Like I'd rather do
I like going
else.
to classes, so that's not I don't know. Will that ever be a thing again? I don't know.
No.
Because I need to go to like the same class with the same teachers every day, so that holds me accountable. I'm like, I can't let my teacher down. They're used to seeing me there.
Right.
I think because I grew up as a dancer with teachers or something.
Yeah.
That helps me, but I cannot do it at home. I do yoga stretches most mornings for like 15 minutes.
You take long walks.
And I do take, I take long walks, but I don't I can run like half a block. And I'm out of breath.
I can run if I'm in danger.
I'll run if I'm in danger, but I don't get any cardio.
No. Don't take our workout advice. If you want fitness tips, go to another podcast.
Yeah. No, I move every day. I go for nice long walks and stuff, but I do joke with Craig because speed walking is in the Olympics now.
Yes.
And they have this thing that they look like this. Because they have to do heel toe. I'm really into speed walking. It's just really entertaining to watch because they have this thing that they do this with their body. I'm like wobbling back and forth if you're not watching the video.
I know what you're talking about.
So like, I don't know, Craig and I will be walking and then like one of us will pick up the pace a little and it becomes this like speed walking race. Like we don't say anything, we just start and we'll both be going like this. So I guess I do get a good workout doing that.
All right, Sadie the speed walker.
Very in shape. I think that's everything now.
All right, well, 40 minutes in, they're all caught.
We've got 15 minutes for today's topic. No, I think we wanted to talk about manifestation, and we both had really good examples of the most important part of manifestation. Well, I'll say the second most important part, because the most important part is taking action towards what you want.
Yes.
Number 2 most important is just simply acting as though it's already yours. It's already within your reach. But let's talk about it. I see manifestation as like 4 steps.
Yes, I do as well.
Okay.
I'm hoping we say the same 4.
Okay, so I think the first step is getting clear on what you want.
Yes. So just to do little baby pause. If you're like, manifest what?
We should talk about what manifestation is.
It just means bringing things or having things show up in your physical reality that were once a thought. It's sort of like a fancy way of saying making stuff happen. Yeah,
everything that is in your life is a manifestation. So when we talk about manifestation, what we're technically speaking of is intentional manifestation, but you manifest everything into your life. That manifestation is just simply things becoming physical reality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now that we've gotten that out of the way. Okay. The first thing is to get very clear on your desires, on what you want. I think a lot of people, and I've done it myself at times, it's like we say like, well, I want to be successful, or I want to be happy. But it's sort of
what
like,
does that mean? What will make you happy?
What does that mean? Exactly. So like, what would be an example of getting really clear on what you want?
Okay. Well, I think we both of our examples today work really well. You're really clear that you want a dog.
Yes.
What are the details about that dog you want? Do you know?
Yes. I want either a golden retriever or a golden doodle.
I have a golden doodle back home. They're so cute.
I really would like them, and they don't shed.
Yeah.
But something tells me we're going to get the shedder. I want to have that dog greet me every day. I want to have a total amazing magical connection with that dog. I want to go on walks with the dog. I want to go on car rides with the dog. I have this very clear vision of I want this, and the reason behind it is because I want to. The reason we want anything is because we want the feeling it gives us.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I want to feel nurturing, loved, a bond, happy, playful. Like those are the feelings that I really want to bring in, and it's through the form of this doggo. So okay, and then Sadie's was I want to live
in this dream home. And I have steps, I have plans, the condo, the home. And I want to actually use a different example because I think this is relatable to a lot of people. So for a career, a lot of people would say, oh, I want my dream job. And you're like, okay, what's your dream job? And then you go, I don't know. I feel like that's how I felt forever. So even if you don't know what the dream job is itself, start getting clear on how your future dream job makes you feel. So for example, I always felt this pull, like I did want to be a business owner. Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, but I always felt this pull, like I want to run my own business. I want to work for myself. I really want to be able to like work from home or work anywhere. I knew that I liked like the spiritual, the woo-woo stuff, but this was before I was really had, you know, the education or the expertise to like pursue something as a job. But I was like, I knew I was interested in that stuff, but I at that time didn't think it was possible for me to make my job out of that. So that was sort of like, oh, that would be nice kind of feeling.
Okay.
But then I tried a lot of different things before I got to the place of like my business now. I had a similar page to what I have now like years ago that didn't really manifest into the kind of thing that was like really me or really what I wanted. So I did that. Then I tried doing like, I love like horror and like spooky books. So I tried doing like a book club, which I actually want to keep doing for fun, but it's just a lot of work. So I tried doing something with that. And I thought maybe I can do some sort of business or creation, making money with that. Well, that didn't really keep me inspired the way I wanted to be, even though I loved it. So I tried that. Just keep trying. And then even the business I'm in now, just recently, I'm really stepping into being like really my true, like authentic, exactly what I want it to be, combining mindset and witchcraft and all this stuff. So I just kept trying things until I found, now I have my dream job. But even like a year ago, I didn't know that this was my dream job. So when you're trying to manifest and you're like, but I don't know what I want to manifest, just pick out some of the details and try things and try lots of different directions until that super clarity comes. Because the clarity is really, really important, but don't get discouraged if you feel like you can't grasp it yet. Yeah.
It's all about the feeling.
The feeling. What would it feel like? What would I be doing if I had my dream job? Where would I be? Yeah. That's number one.
So get very clear on what you want. Number one. Number two. I would say what you want and why you want it.
And why you want it.
And the why is all those feelings.
The why will keep you going, I think. Yeah. Especially when you experience some of the like challenges and setbacks. I mean, still every other day I'm like, why am I doing this? Am I supposed am I doing a good enough job? Am I meant for this? That's just with you for a long time, maybe forever.
That hangs around.
That's just one of those ways. Up and down things. You're like, I'm the best at this, and you're like, what am I doing? Wee! I'm back in I'm the best at this phase right now. Thank goodness. I feel like every time I'm like creating something new and big, I'm like, what did I get myself into? And then once I've created it, I'm like,
yeah, that's like the very natural like ebb and flow of being a creative person.
Yeah. So don't get discouraged by things like that. You are meant to do what you want to do. Number two, I would say is, am I doing these in the order that I usually say them? Letting go of all the limiting stuff, or is that the third step?
Well, what would the third? No, I would say that's the second. The third would be take action, and the fourth would be like forget about it. Yeah.
I was like, did I say these out of order? I just talk about them all day long.
First
over and over
you get it, and then you think about what it would be like to have it, and then
yes. So getting clear on your desires, and then letting go of all of the reasons why you think you can't have something, the beliefs, the identities that you are holding on to that make it like, that make you the person that wouldn't have that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when we talk about releasing limiting beliefs, so let's say your desire is, I want to own a huge ranch with a barn full of the prettiest horses in the world, and that's
My cat's making noises.
And that's your what, and your why is because I want to have days that are filled with nature, and I want to have a big community that comes in and out of my property. I mean, and I love being social, whatever. Your what, your why. There may, if you don't really believe that that's something you can have, the rest of this process is not going to play out at all. Like, you'll be sort of frozen at this step. So if you know what you want, you know why you want it. And then step 2 is that shifting into believing you can have it. It's letting go of anything that says, well, you know, I grew up in a city, so I can't possibly have a ranch because I don't know anything about that. Or a belief that says, I will never have enough money to afford this ranch that I want. If it's about going through and saying, what's stopping me? What do I believe is possible for me? That is either going to be helpful or hurtful towards getting what I want. And it's just really going in and like getting to the truth of how you actually feel about it. So that would be how you go through step 2. It's a lot of journaling, a lot of introspection.
A lot of forgiveness work, forgiving where those beliefs came from, forgiving yourself. It's like release is what the step 2 is. It's all of those feelings of like, I'm not smart enough, I'm not focused enough, I'm not motivated enough, I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy, all of that junk.
It doesn't happen to people like me, to families like mine.
That stuff only happens for other people. Only other people are capable. You know, I'm not capable of that. All of that stuff that's just not true. Like, we, of course, as human beings are born into certain families and certain areas and certain circumstances. We're not all born into a level playing field. But with manifestation, it really empowers us to say, I'm not going to let any part of my life that I could allow to hold me back. I'm going to take my power back and say, I get to do things my way because I want to do them. So that's step 2. Any questions?
So I like what Sadie said about forgiveness as well, because when you look back and you say, oh my gosh, the reason that I think this is impossible is because my mother or my father or my brother or my teacher or whoever told me this wasn't possible. And then you might start to feel like angry towards them. Like, oh, I can't believe they made me believe that, or however you want to think about it. You've got to forgive. People know what they know. People repeat what they've been told by somebody most of the time. And you forgive, and you forgive yourself for buying into it for all these years. So forgiveness that's like a step 2B. 2B. 2A.
Yeah, I think forgiveness is one of the most powerful acts. It's an act of self-love. It's an act of taking your power back. I know and forgiving yourself too for just, you know, I used to struggle a lot with like, oh my God, I'm so lazy, I can't. And I was just unmotivated because of anxiety and things like that, because I wasn't living in alignment with like what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. So I had to work through like forgiveness of myself, and just like, if I feel like having a lazy day, like, fuck yeah, just go watch TV for 12 hours. Who cares? And the second I forgave myself for things like that, like being lazy, or I don't know, like wanting to eat junk food or something, and decided I'm not gonna make myself feel guilty about that stuff anymore. I just didn't need to do it as often. Didn't need it as much. Didn't desire to. I barely watch TV at all anymore. Like it's just amazing how when you forgive yourself for old habits and an old way of beings that held you back, like it's just not an issue anymore. It becomes a non-issue. And
it's really amazing because I don't typically flip back through my old journals, which I have so many of. And I know you do too. A lot of books.
Full shelf of books.
What they say in Bridesmaids? Like, I thought it was a sad handwritten book. And so I had this list I found from exactly a year ago that was like all the things that I needed to forgive. And it was so trippy because when I looked at all of them, I thought, oh, did this really bother me that much? Because I don't think about these things at all now, because I've released them and forgiven them. But these were things 12 months ago that were like really, like I really had some upset about. So it is this powerful thing to forgive. Really
powerful.
To shift your beliefs about what's possible for you. Know what you want, why you want it, shift your beliefs. What's the next step?
I think the next step is, well, it's taking action. So I think there's 2 parts to taking action.
Okay.
The first part, what we explained pretty in detail about in the beginning of the episode, of like, take action to get yourself into the vibration, into the feeling that this desire is already yours. And then the second part of take action being, you need to take literal action that will lead you to attaining this desire. So maybe that's investing in a course. Maybe that's reaching out to someone that you're like, oh, my dream job is to own my own business. Where do I start? I'll reach out to someone I know and ask for advice, or whatever it is. Start an Instagram page, start a YouTube channel, go to the pet store and well, that's the vibration part, but you need to take steps to get into the feeling that like you are already like the dog owner, that you're already the dream homeowner, that you're already the thriving, successful business owner, or the CEO of the company that you work for, or whatever your dream is. How would you feel if that were already true? And what would you be doing? How would you be spending your day? That's how you need to be spending your day. And you'll be amazed. You're like, oh, I don't know what kind of action to take. When you get into the vibration, when you start doing the visualizations and the trips to the dream home or the pet store or whatever, the ideas start churning, because you're just your subconscious goes, oh, this is what we're doing. This is our thing now. We better get started. And the ideas start rolling in.
I love that. I love breaking it into 2 different types of action, because yeah, totally. Like, one is, I want to be a, successful songwriter. So my actions to get in that feeling are, you know what, I'm gonna dress really cute when I go to sessions. I'm gonna stop wearing my sweatpants. I'm gonna dress up really cute and get into the feeling of like, oh, this, like a record label sent me here, or just like it's sort of like getting in the vibe. I'm gonna go to the events and be really confident and sociable, as if I'm already where I want to be, stuff like that. But then like the other type of action, like say you said, like taking a class, this is all connecting to your inspired action.
Yes. So
the difference is people can take action all day long, like I have to feed the dog and mow the lawn, but these are the things that they've sort of like pre-set up on a list. Inspired action are those things that come to you where you're like, oh, I don't know why, but I feel like maybe I should call my old friend from college and like see how they're doing. I don't know why, but I just have this feeling that maybe I should it's like these little ideas and nudges that come up, and they feel good and they feel fun. And it's like when you're a small child and you wake up on a Saturday morning and it's like, all right, what do I want to do first? And then you're basically led all day by your intuition and your inspired action. And then as we get older, we sort of can quiet that voice. But if you look at anybody's success story who's like gotten to where they want, that you trace back their story, it's all inspired action. It's like, I had $30 to my name, but I knew that if I just drove to California, something would happen. I mean, there's always stuff like that. So take action that sort of comes from outside of you. And you're like, why did I even think of that? But yeah.
And if you are like, I don't know how to tap into my intuition, go listen to our episode called How to Be Psychic, because we give you a lot of great tips on how to recognize your ego, which is the voice that's trying to hold you back. And as we always repeat ourselves, ego is not a bad guy, just a little outdated.
Just like a helicopter parent.
Doesn't like you to grow because it's more comfortable to stay the same. So in that episode, you'll learn how to recognize your ego, and you'll also learn how to really start knowing when your intuition is talking to you, because it's been talking to you all along, I guarantee it, and then really trusting it and being able to follow through. So yeah, this is ultimately taking action through your intuitive side rather than your ego fear-based kind of scarcity side. Your intuition always wants to lead you to more abundance, and that can mean abundance in money or joy or love, but intuition is always taking you on the abundant path, and it's probably going to feel a little bit scary going on that path, but like scary in the exciting, adventurous way, not the scary I'm gonna die way.
That's a good
dramatic
differentiation. And then the fourth or the eighth step, depending on how you break
these down. We're like, wait, there's 2 steps into the 3rd step, and then A/B, and then C, D.
It's a simple system. Patent pending. So the 4 9/4 step process. So the last step is, I think, the step that's hardest for everybody, and I heard somebody explain this recently in a way that made it easier. So the 4th step, which you may have heard before, is you have to completely let it go. You have to like set it and forget it.
Set it and forget
it. You have to set your intention and believe you can have it and take the action, and then a lot of people say it like, then you have to just come to terms with the fact that it may never happen. Like, you just have to be like, whatever, I don't care either way.
I think this is so funny because like in both my courses, it's like, okay, you guys, I want you to get clear on what you want. I want you to want it more than anything so that you know for sure you're gonna have it. And then the last week I'm like, all right, now you don't want it anymore.
And they go, what?
I'm like, yeah, if you pretend you don't want it, it's just it's playing hard to get with the universe. That's all it is.
I think it's also what made it easier for me to like understand how to use that tip, because I was like, I don't get how I'm supposed to want it and then not stop caring about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's a little bit of a duality that I'm having a hard time with. But what that really means, if this helps to look at it this way, is think about all the things in your life that are already done. Okay, like I don't have to worry about A, B, C, you know, all these certain things because it's already done. So there's not an attachment to it because it's already done. Same thing with this. You no longer need to cling on to it or freak out about it, because it is as certain and as done and as already handled. Like, just get in the vibe of it's coming and leave it at that. Because clinging to something, I want it, is a very different energy than this letting go, receiving of like, oh, it's on the way. It's a very different energy. So it's just about, it's not about like completely not caring about it anymore. It's about shifting from the like, I want it to it's done.
Yeah, it's like ordering something online and then well, some of us kind of sit by the window anxiously awaiting its arrival, but for the most part, you click order, and then when it shows up, you go, oh, yay, it's here. And you don't really think about it much in between, depending on the thing. Sometimes you're like, I can't wait for it to get here. When's it gonna get here? But for the most part, you know.
But even that's in a receiving energy of, I know it's coming and I'm so excited.
You know it's coming, and even if it's a day later than it said, you're still kind of like, oh, that's fine. Or if it doesn't show up, you can call and be like, hey, it didn't show up, and then they'll be like, no problem, we're sending it a new one. Like, it's just not, it's a non-issue. You're just like, either way, it's like, it's gonna get taken care of regardless of how it happens.
And I would say the common hangups in our 96-step process are one is you're unclear on what you want. So it's like, if you go to a restaurant with incredible food but you never place an order, you're not going to get any food. I think the second hang up is sort of doing everything else, but not actually truly believing you can have it. Like, there's still some sort of hang up there and believing truly that you can have what it is. And a way to hack that a little bit is if you are unable to believe at this moment that you can have the $15 million house, right? Let's say that's something that somebody just absolutely cannot imagine, like, period. Bring it down to a thing that you can imagine that stretches you. So it's like, okay, well, maybe you can't picture the $15 million house, but maybe you can get behind believing that you could get a house that's $700,000.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to buy a $1.5 million condo first, and then I'm going to buy my $15 million house.
And that is what Sadie has decided, and I can't wait to see this happen in the next 2 years.
What's interesting is when I first moved here from Wisconsin, obviously very different prices from LA and rural Wisconsin. And I moved here and I was just like, oh, I'm never going to own a house in California.
Oh, I said that for years.
I just couldn't believe it. And now I'm just like, oh yeah, I will soon. And it's just energetically, like, I don't have tons. I have more money now than I am back in, but I am in the beginning phases of opening a business and all of that. So it's not like I'm making $1 million a year, so I'm ready to buy the condo, but it's just my mindset. Like, I'm not making tons more money than back then, but I know with certainty that I will afford that condo very soon.
And here's another point I'd like to make. Okay, let's say for some impossible reason, it doesn't happen. Okay, let's just say that. It's going to happen. But let's say in somebody's lifetime, the thing they want, it just doesn't happen for whatever reason. One of the 448, 85 reasons. Okay, in my troubleshooting list.
Subtext G didn't work out.
Right. Clause 2.76. What a beautiful life to go through life in this positive energy and this hopeful energy and this happy, excited energy. I think for me, that's like the second anybody starts coming down on this, it's like, what is the big deal? What is the problem with being
That's true, because when
hopeful?
I get so excited thinking about my $15 million home, and I get so excited thinking about our world tour that I planned for us, that we're visiting every continent, and I get so and we're staying in luxury places and flying first class, and I get so excited thinking about these things, and I'm like, yo, I'm having a good time right now. Who cares if it happens or not?
And that's another great way.
I honestly don't give a fuck. I'm having a great time pretending it's coming. I could die tomorrow and I'm like, yeah, that was great. I did everything I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what I would say to the skeptic who's listening, who's like, yeah, but what if it never happened? Well, then bummer, you spent time being happy.
I was really pumped the whole time.
Like, darn. So I just wanted to toss that in.
I love that.
Yeah, so either people don't know what they want, they don't believe they can truly have it. I think that's like the hidden hang up. They are so clear they want it, they're so clear they can have it, but then they do absolutely nothing.
Miracles happen, but you'll get there a lot faster and a lot easier if you just do something about it.
Why don't you do something?
Don't do something. I don't remember that song. I just tried to chime in.
I believed for a second that you knew that song.
I didn't. I just definitely made that red line.
So, and then the last thing, set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it.
People who are like, I can't find a relationship, but they walk around like, I need one so bad.
That's always my example. It's like, when you walk in, back when we were able to go to bars, and you could walk in and smell the desperate person.
Yes.
In the room. And it wasn't anything to do with like even some of the most physically attractive people in the world that I've seen, and you can smell their desperate energy and you're like, ugh, no.
Well, it's a fear energy. It's if I don't cling on and be nervous about it, it won't happen. And then we are repelled by that.
Have you ever met a person where their confidence just is like pouring out of them and they're the most attractive person in the room, even if they're not like societally norms the most attractive person in the room? Have you experienced that too? Because I sure have.
You can just say my name.
You're not you're ugly, but you're the most confident one here, so you're the most attractive. No, I'm not saying the ugly, but you know what I mean? Like when you walk in somewhere and you're like that person isn't technically the most attractive, but like energetically they're the most attractive.
I've got hot energy. I get it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. We both got hot bitch energy. Now I'm moving my shoulders again. I'm speed walking.
Just speed walking and dancing. I keep trying to position my legs in a way that doesn't...
It's really hard to wear a dress on the pod.
Yeah, it's tricky. It sort of looks like I'm just wearing a sheet.
It's very angelic.
Thank you.
Thank you. You look like a cloud. A very attractive, confident cloud.
Oh my God, I thought you said clown. And I was like... Okay.
You're like,
a pastel cloud.
Oh, cloud.
Cloud, thank you. Oh, speaking of things that go in the sky, I am modeling today the rose quartz moon earrings and matching rose quartz moon necklace.
I have my necklace on, and these are from Raven's Eye Crystal.
Raven's Eye Crystals.
Thank you again.
Want a crystal.
I had the matching earrings and I lost one, and I'm figuring out how to steal one out of Juliet's ear without her noticing.
Discount code Sadie lost it for 0% off.
I'm just kidding. I'm not going to steal it. But Raven's Eye Crystal, I need to chat to you about a replacement earring, because I never really change out my jewelry. All my jewelry is kind of like I wear it all the time except for my long necklaces. So my earrings don't change, but those I was actually like, oh, and I wore them and I immediately lost one. Well, at the birthday party. It was a disaster. My bra was too big. I lost an earring. It was a complete bust.
So you had
the 2-year-old's birthday party.
Take one down.
Thanks a lot, Mila. Thanks a lot for turning 2. So that was a disaster for me.
But thank you, Raven's Eye Crystals. We love our gifts. You are so generous. Bracelets, crystals, my goodness. If anybody wants to send us a little gifty poo, we will model it, shout it out. We love gifts. We love supporting other women-owned businesses and small business babes. So that was just a little side note.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions about manifesting. We both teach this one-on-one. Well, actually, I don't have any one-on-one spaces, but, well, maybe by the time this comes out, I don't know. I'm trying to think about my calendar if someone's opening up.
We can help you with manifestation.
We can help you. My Money Mindset Magic course teaches this, my Discovering Divine Purpose. So if I'm not open for enrollment, make sure you hop on my email list so you know first thing when those courses come out, because everything I teach involves manifestation. Juliet, do you have anything launching soon?
I may reopen Elevate Into You.
Okay.
It's a program that really helps you with that manifestation process we're talking about, like shedding the limiting beliefs, getting super clear on what you want, giving yourself permission to want it, knowing that it's safe to want it, it's great to want it, and then taking all those steps and everything's broken down, and it's a lot of fun. I may open it, or we may build something together.
We are working on
is even more
goddess expanded sort of course deal thing, so that's gonna be very fun in the future.
So we'll see. If you guys have a mega demand for Elevate Into You, it's especially good for artists. That's sort of like where my zone is. DM me, let me know, or maybe I'll just sell it as like a video program.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Okay, it's gonna open in some way.
I think when this is posting, my Money Mindset Magic course closed, but for the goddesses, I'm going to tell you a secret. If you're listening to this and you want to join last minute, I really think like when you like get clear on your desire, regardless of what you want to manifest, all of our desires take money. So getting your money mindset right is a gigantic step in pursuing your dream life, because all of those pieces of our dream life take money. So the goddesses, I will keep the doors open a few extra days, but you'll have to DM me to open a spot for you. So reach out to me if you want to know about becoming a master money manifester. And it's also like lots of money spells, witchcraft. I have like an intro to witchcraft included in it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So the week that this is out, it's technically closed, but you goddesses can DM me if you decide to join late.
It's the education on money that we all should have been taught from the moment we were born. Or at least one time in school. Yeah. It's brilliant.
I think the only thing I was taught was like, make sure you save a lot of money And that's not right. You should save money, but you should also spend money. You should give money. You should have fun with your money. You should do all sorts of things with your money.
You should do with your money whatever you want to do with your money.
Exactly. Yeah. And you should have fun making it and make as much as you want. And that's what we're going to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Well, any last thoughts?
Can I say one quickie thing about like quantum manifesting?
Oh, yeah. Go.
Okay. So if you feel like you've got the manifestation process down, but you find that maybe this took 3 years to manifest, this took 5 years, this took 15 months, and you're like, I want things to start moving quicker, there's something called quantum leaping, quantum manifesting. I'm obsessed with quantum physics. I can't reiterate anything back to you, but I could listen to it all day long. It's so fascinating to me, just emphasizes, it's the science behind the fact that we are all energy, we are all vibrations, we are all just particles buzzing, and our thoughts literally have control over matter, like mind over matter.
Yeah, the manifesting is really going from the first dimension, which is thought, to the second dimension, which is like your plan, like writing your plan out, or
on a
thinking
piece of
up
paper.
Your plan. And then the third part of manifesting is bringing it into the 3D. So it really is
that's cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I think you mentioned this a long time ago, and I thought it was cool then.
I actually, every course I teach, the first module is always understanding how the universe works in terms of energy and matter, because I think it's so important to know.
Yes, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
So if you want to speed up your manifestation, if you want to do a quantum leap, so to speak, the best way I had a vision the other day, and I feel like this makes so much sense. So imagine that like your life is this very flexible string or rubber bandy kind of, I don't know, it's a material and it's flexible and it goes like this, and this is the start of your life on earth, and here's the end of your life on earth, and maybe you're in a cube, I don't know, that doesn't matter, but so let's say this is the string of time, and of maybe not even time, but just events in your life or growth in your life, and you are a little bead or a little dot on this string. Now if you want to jump past the middle of the string and get to this point over here, which you will inevitably make it to, because the string is the length of your life or whatever, you can either do your whole long journey up and over the mountain on the string. If you guys are listening, you might want to watch me do this, because
she's using her hands a lot.
I'm using my hands a lot. You can either take the long road, or you can bend the string, touch from where you were to where you want to be, and then the string straightens out again, and you've just done a leap. And the way that you do the leap, this is just a meditation I had, is you believe wholeheartedly, you behave wholeheartedly, you act wholeheartedly like you are already there, like you're already that person who has the thing. Like it's so 100% undeniable. It is your present reality. You sort of trick the universe a little bit, and that causes, and then this point in your life where you're currently at realizes it's in the wrong place. It matches this frequency. So then the string bends, ding, it jumps over, and then there you go. So yeah, I had this vision, and I was like, I have to explain it with the strings and the beads. And
I actually, I do this, like before, like I pretend that, like before I go to bed, I'm like, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm waking up in my dream home, or I'm waking up as a millionaire or whatever. Or like before I get in the shower, I'm like, when I'm done showering, I'm this, and like I decide like when this thing is done, then I'm this, and it does. I don't literally like magically wake up in a different house, but I see myself taking bigger leaps towards those things where like the old version of me simply wouldn't have been capable of that, because I simply just didn't know I could do that or believe that I could do that.
And in this example with the string, which I'm going to really bring home. Okay, so there is a matter of time that it takes for that string to bend to reach the other point. So even though you're not waking up and seeing it immediately because you're just not, you're getting closer and you're getting there in a quicker way. I'm still not taking
this path. I'm still taking
the shorter path.
Yeah.
And it's a lot about having faith, and having faith, you know, you don't want to give up 5 minutes before the miracle occurs.
That's, I think, really common to do because you feel the most resistance right before you break through. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We got to finish up because we have our reading with our winner.
Our winner.
With Emma. But I actually, in my reading I did for a client right before this, she was asking about her business, like, you know, when's it going to take off? Because I've been feeling like it's about to, you know, for a while now, and it just feels like it's still trickling along. And I had so clearly this vision of like her like rock climbing up a mountain, like with the harness and the thing, like really, you know, really hard work. And then my vision zoomed out, and it was like if at the bottom of the mountain she would have just kind of like walked a few more feet around this like bend, she would have seen that there was like a leisurely path there that she could have just walked up, and she didn't need to be laboring up this mountain. So I think that's very in line with what you're talking about with quantum leaping. Like, you don't, the path to what you want, it probably does involve hard work, but it's not meant to drain you and exhaust you and grind you down. It's meant to be, you know, flowing and maybe hard work, but easy and feel good. And of course, we always talk about there's ups and downs of when you don't feel like you're on the right path, or you doubt yourself or question yourself. That's part of the process. But when you take that step back, it should be, you should take the stairs. Don't take the rock climbing get up up there.
We covered a lot about manifestation.
We did.
Like, that was the crash course. And I hope that some of you listening are like, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know if you have questions. You can book a psychic guidance with me. You can book a medium reading with Juliet. We both work one-on-one with people. We both have courses, so check out our websites. Talk to us if you have questions about ways to work with us. We love connecting with you guys. Follow Goddess Hangs on Instagram at Goddess Hangs. Make sure you leave a review. It helps us reach more people.
Thank you so much for your reviews.
Thank you for all the sweet reviews. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. It lets YouTube know that people like us, and it sends us out to, you know, new people. Comment, DM us. We love hearing from you. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am Sadie Olson.
I'm at Juliet.Piper.
And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.